Did you know that Eliud Kipchoge runs 42 kilometers faster than most people drive? He once ran an entire marathon with an average pace of 2 minutes and 50 seconds per kilometer. How is that even possible? What does his body have that ours doesn't? What does he know that almost no one else knows? Today, we're stepping into the world of the superhumans of running. And at the end, I'll tell you the most insane detail that almost no one notices, and that might completely change how you run. If you love running, want to improve your performance, or are simply fascinated by incredible physical feats, stay with me, because today, you'll discover the 3 pillars that make Eliud Kipchoge run like a machine. Get ready to understand the mind, biomechanics, and behind the scenes of one of the greatest athletes of all time. Let's go. But first, drop a comment telling us where you're watching from, your city or country. The engineering of the body, biomechanics and technique. Running isn't just putting one foot in front of the other. When you watch Kipchoge run, it looks easy, smooth, even slow. But what's happening there is pure body engineering. Every step is calculated. And the first key is economy of movement. The deceptive posture. Kipchoge runs with his torso slightly tilted forward, but never hunched. What does this do? It reduces energy expenditure and aligns his center of gravity with the ground. That creates more propulsion with less effort. Look at his legs. He never overstrides. That avoids what we call overstriding, when your foot lands too far in front of your body. That common mistake acts like a brake. Kipchoge avoids it completely. The golden foot strike, he lands on his midfoot, not the heel. That reduces impact on joints and turns the ground contact into a kind of spring. Even more interesting, he keeps ground contact time extremely short, less than 200 milliseconds. That's critical. The less time the foot stays on the ground, the more efficiently the body moves. And, get this, the foot almost always lands under the hips, not in front. Result: zero waste. Cadence and rhythm. His cadence, the number of steps per minute, is around 180 to 190 steps per minute. That's high. But why does it matter? With high cadence, the impact per step drops. The body works in harmony, and the risk of injury plummets. It's like a gear, it spins faster, but with less effort per rotation. Arm movement. Few people talk about this, but watch Kipchoge's arms. They don't cross the center of the body. They swing back and forth like pendulums. This stabilizes the torso and keeps the run linear. In other words, he doesn't waste energy twisting. One more thing, his shoulders are relaxed. Most people run with tension in the shoulders without realizing how much that tires them out. Kipchoge seems to float exactly because he eliminates unnecessary tension. Now think with me, how many of these things have you ever paid attention to in your own running? How your foot hits the ground, your cadence, your arms, your posture. All of that has a direct impact on your performance and your risk of injury. Comment now. Have you ever tried changing your running form? Have you experimented with focusing on cadence or foot strike? Share in the comments what worked for you and what was tough. Let's talk. The mind of a champion, discipline, and psychology. No human is limited. That phrase isn't just a phrase, it's Eliud Kipchoge's mantra. But how can someone truly believe that, to the point of running 42 kilometers in under 2 hours? The answer lies in his mental routine, his discipline, and his life philosophy. The monastic routine. You might imagine a world-famous running star living a luxurious life, surrounded by tech gadgets, supplements, and sponsorship perks. But Kipchoge lives in a simple training camp in Kenya, sharing a room with teammates. No luxury, no distractions, just running, reading, and silence. Why? Because he believes that absolute focus only comes when you cut the excess. He trains like a monk, and that lifestyle gives him a level of mental clarity that few athletes achieve. He's even said, discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. And he always chooses what he wants most. Mental visualization. Before races, Kipchoge spends entire days visualizing the run. He doesn't just focus on the result, He visualizes the pace, the pain, the final kilometers, the sweat dripping. Why? Because the body can't tell the difference between imagination and real experience. The more you visualize, the more the brain treats it as familiar. When the real moment comes, it doesn't panic, it's been there before. You can do this too. Before a big race or training session, close your eyes for 5 minutes. Picture your body light, your stride strong, your breath flowing. It's not mystical, it's mental training. Silent confidence. Kipchoge isn't loud, he doesn't provoke. But behind the calm is unshakable confidence. He trains knowing he's done everything he needs. He believes he deserves to win, and that changes everything. When you start a race not believing in yourself, you've already lost at the start line. Kipchoge runs to win, but not to beat someone else. He runs to beat doubt. Now, think with me. What do you do when the run gets tough? Do you panic, or breathe and trust your training? How's your inner talk during your workouts? Because if your mind isn't running with you, your body will stop. Comment now, have you ever tried training your mind as much as you train your body? Have you used visualization or repeated power phrases before a run? Drop a comment below and tell us how you handle the tough moments in running. The invisible: training, nutrition, recovery, and strategy. When you think about running like an elite athlete, the first image that probably comes to mind is someone sweating, pushing hard on the road, breathing heavily. But what you don't see what happens outside of training is what builds or breaks a runner. Kipchoge understands this better than anyone. He treats rest, nutrition, and strategy with the same respect as his toughest workouts. The almost Zen nutrition. Let's start with food. Kipchoge eats simply. His diet is mostly based on ugali, a kind of white cornmeal porridge, rice, beans, bananas, vegetables, and a bit of meat. Minimal processing, nothing fancy. But here's the secret: consistency and simplicity. No trendy diets, no excessive supplements. He eats the same foods, in the same amounts, at the same times, every day. And you know the biggest mistake most recreational runners make? They test everything at once. They change their diet, switch energy gels, change their pre-workout, then post-workout, and their body never adapts. Kipchoge teaches, nutrition isn't about novelty, it's about discipline. The power of sleep. Have you ever seen someone run 200 kilometers a week and sleep less than 8 hours? Kipchoge sleeps between 9 and 10 hours a day. No guilt, no distractions. Why? Because sleep is when the body rebuilds what training breaks down. It's when muscles recover, hormones rebalance, and the mind resets. And it's not just night sleep, he takes naps every day after lunch. That might sound extreme, but think about it. If you demand high performance from your body, you have to give it high-level recovery. Now think about yourself. How many times have you trained while tired, slept poorly, and thought that was just mental toughness? Long term, that breaks you down. The structure of training. Kipchoge doesn't run hard every day. In fact, most of his runs are at an easy pace. Truly easy. He follows a training cycle with easy days for active recovery, speed days, and long progressive runs. The key is the balance between intensity and rest. You train hard when it's time, but you respect your body between sessions. And here's the most important part: Kipchoge never trains to prove he's strong. He trains to be consistent. Now think with me. How many times have you skipped a rest day because you were afraid of losing momentum? How often have you eaten poorly and told yourself, just this once won't hurt? Kipchoge does the opposite. He repeats, and repeats again. Because he knows that performance doesn't come from one spectacular day. It comes from 100 well-done days. Comment now. Which part of your routine do you think holds you back the most in your running progress? Sleep, nutrition, lack of planning? Write it down in the comments. Let's talk about how to fix it. At the end of the day, running like Eliud Kipchoge doesn't start in the legs, it starts in the mind. It's not about talent, it's about systems. It's about repeating, adjusting, and respecting the process. He doesn't have superpowers. He just made consistent choices for years. While most people train hard for a week and quit the next, he trains hard, lives light, and never strays from simplicity. So, if there's one thing you can take from him, it's this: run with technique. Train your mind. Take care of the invisible. And above all, respect the process. Maybe you'll never break the 2-hour barrier, but you can break the barrier that's holding you back today. Click the video that's on your screen now. In it, I break down the most common mistakes runners make without realizing, and how to avoid every single one of them. If you liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. What's the #1 thing you want to improve in your running from now on? I'll see you in the next one. And remember, no human is limited.